So I've tested 5 resin printers in the last 6 months, and every single one of them has raved about its glowing amber screens. How much is just nonsense marketing hype? Why are those yellow polarizing screens suddenly everywhere? And frankly, how does this help you? So very quickly, let's just get some definitions down. Now, polarizer at its most basic level, and I'm not an engineer, so this is super basic, but a polarizer just changes the angle of the light. That's the reason your fancy polarizing sunglasses take all the glare off the surface of the water, because essentially they're just altering the angle of the light, which means the light's not shining directly into your eyes anymore. So around 2024, prosumer printers started marketing amber or yellow polarizing screens. But why? Well, there are 3 main reasons. Number 1 is marketing. Now let's be honest. Manufacturers love a new hype claim they can just whack on the box. Amber screen technology, ultra clear resin compatibility, next gen UV optics. It sounds impressive and it's not fake, but the real world gains for you or I are pretty marginal. Reason number 2 is every LCD panel has polarizers. A polarizer, after all, is just a filter that aligns the light waves. The catch is, though, that those polarizers on standard LCD screens can block over 90% of the incoming light. That wasted energy becomes heat, and heat is what kills LCD panels over time. So to compensate, printer manufacturers blast several hundred watts of UV into the panel just to get a few milliwatts per square centimetre at the resin surface, which is roughly the intensity they need for most UV resins to cure. Conversely, amber polarizers let more light pass through. That means it takes less energy to put the same amount of UV light into your resin, less heat is generated, and the LCD panels can last longer. Essentially, amber polarizers just improve the efficiency of a 3D printing light source. Now traditionally, SLA printers like the Saturn IV Ultra and Anycubic M7 that I talk about here use 405nm LEDs. And they print excellent minis, but this type of resin is slightly less accurate. To understand why, I'm going to draw a pretty picture. Basically, 385nm has a shorter wavelength than 405nm, physically shorter. And the simplest way to think about that is, the shorter wavelengths go less far into the resin. You can go way more detailed than that, but frankly I don't have enough understanding, so that's the way I wrap my tiny little brain. What I mean by that is, the shorter wavelength resins penetrate less far into the resin, so they cure more accurately. Or think of it like this, they cure less of the resin around it and just the bits they need to. For 405nm layers, that's exactly the opposite. They cure more of the resin that surrounds the bit they're supposed to, and so you get less dimensionally accurate parts. That's about as neat a summary as I can think of, but if you know better information, please comment down below. We're all here to learn. Professional or prosumer systems though, like their Hey-Gears Reflex, have a 385nm light source, and because that light source is more energetic and more accurate, you can design different types of resins, specifically engineering resins, for specific purposes, such as high temperature resins or silicon resins. You get the idea. And that's also the reason they're more accurate with transparent resins too, but I'm going to come back to that. No sponsor this week, so just a shout out to one of this month's Patreon backers. Thank you very much, Bulkamancer, for supplying this incredible Samus model. I'm a big fan of the aesthetics of the Metroid series, and this model does it justice and then some. The model was printed on Instalogic dark orange resin on my GK3 Pro, just in case you're interested. Back to amber screens. Because they let more 385 light through the LCD screen, you can cure faster. So basically, amber screens sound cooler for marketing, cure your prints slightly faster and more accurately, and reduce the wear and tear on your LCD screens, which should be better, right? But where does all this leave us? Well, if you're shopping for a resin printer in 2025 or 2026, and you see an amber screen on the list, its benefits to you are going to be all but meaningless. They're a nice to have, not a need to have. And listen, I'm not saying there's no advantage to having a 385 light source. I'm just saying for the sort of stuff that we're doing, which is essentially just printing toys, I doubt you're going to notice a difference. Over the lifespan of a printer, when you're replacing lots and lots of LCD screens, yeah, sure, you might start to notice a cost saving, but at our level, nah, the gains are going to be marginal. So I just want to talk very quickly before I wrap up this video about one of the other major benefits of using a 385 night source, and that is the ability to use transparent resins. So let's quickly give a definition of what a transparent resin is. Essentially, unless you add a colour to a resin, it's going to be clear. So a resin is just a photopolymer liquid formulated without any sort of pigment in it, i.e. it doesn't have any stuff in it which makes it a different colour. Its main selling point is its optical clarity, i.e. light passes straight through the cured material instead of scattering. Or you can see through it. Its use makes a lot of sense for applications like microfluidics, lenses, optical housings, things where you need to see inside the part. In applications like that, clearly it isn't aesthetic, it's functional. But for minis, maybe, clarity can actually be a problem. Every tiny layer line, bubble or speck of dust shows through, and plus when you print with transparent resins, they don't just come off the printer completely transparent. You need to do some post-processing to make them that way, which you don't do if you print with coloured resins, so there's that to think about too. If that is, you can even spot the imperfections in the first place. That's why I prefer to use orange or grey resins after all, so I can see the mistakes I've made and clean them up, and frankly, they look better on camera. The selling points around transparent resins are, for all but the most niche applications, again, completely meaningless for your eye. Transparent resins are harder to use, and unless you're making something, for example in the scientific or engineering community that needs transparent resins, well, they're just not going to be very much use. Amber screens are technically smart, increase the efficiency of your printer, reduce the wear and tear on your LCD screens and therefore overall cost over its lifetime, but again, unless you're in an engineering or commercial background, it's unlikely to have any real benefit for you, and frankly I doubt you'll notice the difference. So is it marketing hype? Absolutely, but at least it's based on some sort of fact, and it is a genuine improvement. Whether or not you benefit from that improvement, well, that's up to you. So if you're buying a new printer, don't let the colour of the screen sway you. Focus on more practical features like the ease of cleaning, the quality of the build components, the resolution of the screen, maybe, i.e. the things that actually improve your life or the quality of your prints. If you want to find out more about printers that do have amber screens, check out my reviews, they should be on screen now, of the Haygears RS Turbo and the GK3 Pro. A huge thank you to everyone for watching, especially those people who support me either on Patreon or by chatting with me over my Discord. On screen now are some of the models that are available in this month's Patreon release for Magenta tier patrons. And if you sign up this month, you'll get access to those models and also the 70 other models that already exist in the folder. You can just download them all and have at it. As another nice little bonus for Magenta tier patrons, if you sign up for more than 3 months, you'll get 5% off one of my UK-based painting workshops. So if that's of interest, make sure you go and check out the links down below. As always, I've been James, this is RisingApe Minis, and I'll see you next time.